my Destiny Squad. How are you doing? How has your day been? It's Friday again. Happy weekend, of course. Destiny, Mama, look from when you call me. Destiny, Mama, look from when you call me. Destiny, Mama, look from when you call me. Destiny touch of glamour. How are you doing, guys? I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome to another, let's talk because there is something to talk about. Okay, so mental health problems is a growing concern, not just in the UK, but worldwide. Did you know that? No, I should say that just this week, the Telegraph reported that actually there has been an increase in the number of young people who have been diagnosed with mental health problems, and more than half of girls having mental health problems. This is, like I've said, this is not just a UK problem. This is not just a Britain problem. This is worldwide because a lot of us, well, all of us, have actually lived through lockdowns, not just one lockdown, more than one lockdown, which lasted for more than a year. So no wonder our young people are actually suffering. The main or the most popular type of mental health problem that has been reported is a combination of depression and anxiety. And what I've done is that I've listed the top five. So here they are. So the top five mental health problems being reported, like I've said, is number one is a combination of anxiety and depression. Number two, generalized anxiety disorder. So that is where the person just worries about life itself, worries about failing, worry about events coming up, worrying about financial problems. Just somebody who worries a lot. Sometimes they don't even know why they are worrying. Number three, post-traumatic stress disorder. So, of course, you know that some people would have witnessed something in their lives, would have gone through something, and that event just keeps playing over and over in their minds where they just keep having flashbacks. Of course, our young people, though young, they would have lived through or would have witnessed so many things happening. Of course, some would have lost their loved ones as well. So, you understand where that is coming from. Number four, depression, and number five, phobia. But the question really is, why are so many of our young people actually being diagnosed with mental health concerns? Some people, and probably adults, would probably like to almost dismiss the diagnosis. Some people want to brush it aside, where they think that young people have nothing to worry about. As far as they are concerned, the young person has food being provided, they have a shelter, and of course, they are provided with clothes. So as far as they are concerned, the young people should have nothing to worry about. How often have you actually heard an adult said, keep referring to back in my days? Back in my days, I did not have mobile phone. I did not have television, So, of course, I would have had a lot to worry about. But look at me, I turn out just fine. And, and whenever I hear that, I'm always thinking, but I bet you did not, as a young person, when you were young, you did not live through two lockdowns. Yes, you did not have mobile phones. Yes, social media wasn't around. But isn't that more for the young people to worry about? Because when you look at it, it has gotten, starting with the lockdown, before I move on to like the mobile phones, before I move on to like social media. With the lockdown, people were sort of moved out of their routines, their moods, and everything like that. So suddenly, the young person would actually find themselves, just like everybody else, in a situation where they were constantly communicating with five or four people. Then the lockdown ended, and suddenly they have to go back out into the real world. They have to meet friends again. So it's as if they have to learn to socialize again. So when you look at it, that has brought on some level of anxiety, right? So we do understand, because perhaps a mature person was able to sort of, compartmentalize some of the things happening in their well, compartmentalize is not a problem, is not a word. Departmentalize what's happening in their thoughts, what is happening in their minds. Some young people actually struggled with that. So of course you can understand where actually all these mental health problems actually come from. Yes, an adult will say we didn't have mobile phones, but that's a part of the problem as well. Because nowadays, everything, you'll have people actually living in the same house. And instead of meeting up, instead of interacting, instead of talking to each other, what you'll find is that they will actually just text each other. So you find where, that communication, interacting with people on a face to face basis, they have actually lost touch with that. With mobile phone as well, of course, you know that there is access to the World Wide Web. Of course, back in the day, you did not have the access to that. So the only thing that you knew about was what was happening in the local environment. So you did not have a choice but to actually meet up with your friends on a day-to-day basis in person. You go for dinner, you have, your games and everything like that. So there was proper socializing. Now, because of social media, the young people are actually missing out on that part of it. Because you know that with social media, of course, it is good, very good, in that you're able to keep in touch with people and everything like that. But don't forget that social media has its own problems as well. And I'm going to list five of the problems that I have found, and then I'm going to elaborate on them. So let me find the five problems that, social media, though very good, these are some of the problems that come with social media. It can leave a person feeling inadequate about their life appearance, feeling isolated. Because, of course, with social media, if you are the one stuck in your room, and each time you go on social media, you are seeing like, photos where people are actually having a good time and everything like that, then you are tempted as a young person. They probably, some young people are not able to look at it and say, social media is not real. Some people actually believe that they are the only one not having a good time. So you find that because of that, they are left feeling isolated. They are left sometimes feeling, down. So yes, feeling of isolation. Then there is self absorption. Yeah, you have a lot of fake people who you actually aspire to look like some, of the celebrities who you actually see on social media. So of course, growing up, when you're talking about back in the day, you did not have access to social media. Social media was not around. So of course, you did not feel that pressure to actually, look like your favorite celebrity or anything like that. With social media, people are open to cyberbullying and, of course, a lot of the times the young people are the ones who are targeted. So ask the question again, what do they have to worry about? Of course, there is a lot to worry about because, things are not the same. Say, for example, when I was growing up, things are not the same now. Things have changed drastically because for me, for example, we did not have social media growing up. So I understand why the young people would have this level of anxiety, feeling unsure about their future and everything like that. Then the biggest one, it comes in at number 5, but to be honest with you, I think that this one is a big problem, and that is the fear of missing out. There is an acronym that they have come up with, and it is FOMO, fear of missing out. And that is where it actually affects a lot of young people because you can see them on the street attached to their mobile phone. You see them even in the classroom, you see them walking around, and they are constantly checking their phones because they fear that they could miss out, the fear of missing something that's going on social media has actually caused them to be checking their mobile phones a lot. Now, this is a serious problem. Some people may not see it, but it is a serious problem because what you will find is that even at night, when they are going to their beds or when they should be sleeping, they are still checking their mobile phones. Some will actually tell you as well that they check their mobile phones every time that they turn, every time that they wake up or anything like that, because the mobile phone is very close. Sometimes it's under their pillow or it's on the side table. So they are tempted to check. Some people have this because it is an addiction. I see it as an addiction. So some people are so addicted to checking their mobile phones that they will stay up late in the night just checking. If you ask them what they are looking for, they have no idea. They are just checking their mobile phones. And of course, I don't know if you had read about it, but I have read about it that the mind actually takes a little while to sort of settle down. So if they are on their mobile phones to, for example, 12 o'clock, and don't forget, it's not about being on social media. You have these games going on as well, because some actually have games going on until late in the night. So if they're on their mobile phones, if they're checking their social media on their games until late in the night, then of course it takes the mind a little while to sort of settle down, get into the relaxing mode to the point where you fall asleep. So what you'll find is that you'll find some young people actually don't get enough sleep. So when they don't get enough sleep for the next day, of course, you can see that they are looking a bit down. Some of them get a bit angry easily and everything like that. So it's like there is a ripple effect. All right. If that happens over time, then of course you can see where the problem comes in, because some people will get to the point where they even cannot sleep at night. So it results in another thing, and it is called insomnia. So when you talk about it, when you say that, what do young people have to worry about? Actually, it's a lot. You can see where the mental health problems actually stem from. So there are things that we look at as adults where we are able to look at it. We are disciplined enough to say, okay, I'm going to stop checking social media at 10 o'clock because I need to give my body, I need to give my mind enough time to sort of get to that stage where I can relax, where I can get enough sleep. A young person who is attached to their mobile phone, who is into social media, will not have that discipline. So when you ask, what do they have to worry about? actually, it is a lot that they actually have to worry about. So, some of us will actually notice the changes in our young people. But do we actually ask? Because, over time, when you keep checking, after a while, you will notice certain changes in the young person's behavior. As parents, what do we do? Do we just ignore the situation? Or is it that some of us are, afraid of the answers that, we will get? Or is it that some of us just don't know how to handle the situation, in that we see that something has changed, but we just don't? It's like we want to pretend like it's not happening, and we want to hope that it will go away. Now, what are your thoughts? This is where, if you have something to say, what I would say is WhatsApp, call me. Remember that at any point, you can actually WhatsApp call me. If you are in the UK, it is 07930 Outside of the UK, it is +44 7930 976688. So if you look at it, there is a problem. The problem is not going to go away. Now that we know that, a lot of young people, of our young people, are actually going through this, what will our next step be? Are we just going to pretend like it is not happening or anything like that? Of course, in the UK, I'm not sure about other places, but there are you have a lot of help available. Even nowadays, if you feel that you cannot manage it as an adult, seeing a young person going through, witnessing the changes and everything like that, you need to know that help is available. Some of the help available could be closer than you think. Sometimes, if you look at it, the GP can help. I know that sometimes it's not easy to get, for example, get an appointment. Sometimes it's not easy to convince the young person that they actually need help. But our responsibility is actually to care enough to see the person through and to get help. Because the quicker you get help, then the better it will be for the young person. A lot of support is available out there. If the young person is in school, the young person is in college, then you need to know that the help is right there. Every school is equipped with all teachers. We are all we have all had training on in safeguarding matters. So of course there is actually like a strategy within the school environment to help if you actually need that support. No matter what you do, do not just leave the person, do not just observe that something is wrong and not have a conversation at least have a conversation with the young person. Sometimes it's a simple question. It's just saying to the person, are you all right? Just to start the conversation. Now, I am not living in La La Land. I know that some young people will just not talk to us, but we cannot just ignore the situation. We still have to find help. Sometimes it's a matter of, relating the situation to somebody who that young person respects, who that young person is close to actually get the conversation started. There are also a number of helplines out there as well, and I actually looked up a few of them. There is mind.org.uk and Mind, which tells you that, it tells you that they deal with mental health concerns, and they provide information for you and looking after your mental health. That's young people, for young people 11 to 18 years old. So even if your young person does not want to speak to you, they can actually make that first contact themselves. Of course, I know that sometimes you have to leave it until the young person realize within themselves that they actually need help. But in the meantime, you should be there to provide that support. There is also a telephone number, and it is 08006444. So that's 08 double zero zero. Oh, let me repeat that: 08006 444 101. And that is for, if the young person has some needs somebody to actually talk to. So just know that help is available. Oh, there's another one. The NHS, through their website, has their acronym. They have Young Minds for children and young people with mental to give mental health support. So no longer should mental health problems, when you witness it, when you see it, no longer should it be a taboo subject. No longer should it be something to actually just, brush under the rug. It is happening to more and more of our young people. So we need to have that conversation. Like I have said, the school is on board because there is safeguarding. And of course, the school, sometimes they will pick it up as well. If you have picked it up, at home as well, of course, if you contact the school, then of course, the support that wrap around, because when home and school and even social services, when they work together, it makes it so much better for the young person as well. And just like I've said, your GP is that first line of support as well, because they will be able to signpost that young person. Sometimes they will actually signpost that person to get some counseling. Because as you know, a lot of the times our young people, they don't want to talk to us, because as much as we don't want to admit it, sometimes the adults are the problem. So you'll find that the young person does not want to, talk to you about you. So sometimes they prefer to talk to somebody who is a stranger, because at least they won't feel as if that person is going to be upset with them or anything like that. And remember as well that the counselors, they are trained for this. Even in the school, they can do the signposting as well. So what will always happen, you will find that there's a wraparound support available. So don't suffer in silence. Now that you are aware of it, that actually this is happening, and it is not just your young person who is going through this, but this is something that is they have noticed happening, not just in the UK, it is happening everywhere in the world. So now is the time to take action, because sometimes, all the young person is waiting for is for someone to ask, are you okay? So now that you are aware of it, then of course, take the necessary steps to actually support each other. This is my take on it. And of course, I hope that you have learned something. And of course, that if you are, even if it's a young person who will view this video, I hope that if you notice that, something is off, you're just not feeling yourself, that you will make that first step. Your first call is your GP, and they will signpost you. If not your GP, if you are in a school environment, then of course you can speak to your tutor, because someone is always available for the support to kick in. So yes, this is all that I have to say this evening. Of course, It is not too late for you to ring me up if you actually have something to say. Remember, WhatsApp calls only, and you can ring me on 0793097668 if you are in the UK. If you are calling from outside of the UK, it is +44 7930976688. But just to say that, look, mental health concerns, we all need to get on board. Thank you so much for listening to this video, listening to this live stream. And of course, I know that others will actually be seeing the video later. Thank you always for your support. And until I do another live stream or I upload another video, I say peace. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye.